The Trump Middle East peace plan is being unveiled right now in Bahrain. It is just phase one, the economic part, but still, it is a historic 40-page proposal to invest $50 billion into the West Bank, Gaza, and neighboring countries that would transform the lives of the Palestinian people. I-24 News anchor Nurit Ben is inside Bahrain right now, reporting for Daily Dose.
We're here in Bahrain on day one of the U.S.-led economic workshop, Peace to Prosperity, and it hasn't even begun yet. They're closing everything off to the media until about 4 p.m., trying to keep a really tight lid on what actually comes out of this conference. But about 7 p.m., Jared Kushner, senior advisor to President Trump and the man who's really leading this effort, is going to open everything up with a speech on the private sector, on how sort of private investment can help overhaul the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. And that's really the baseline of the White House approach to what we're seeing here. We have seen delegates streaming in from around the world, Arab world, the United States among them. Who actually is here? There is Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, other Gulf countries. Most of them are mid-level delegates. At this point, the only one who is officially listed to speak is a Saudi minister of state. That's the highest level. And as you probably know, Israeli officials were not invited. The White House says that is to try to keep this not political, however hard that may be to do. Israeli businessmen are here. On the other side, there are the Palestinians. Nobody's here except for one man, Ashraf Jabari, a Palestinian businessman who I-24 News interviewed a couple weeks back. Palestinian officials themselves are boycotting this summit. They say this amounts to an attempt to bribe the Palestinian people and are calling on other Arab nations not to come here. So looking at all that, it could sound like there's really dead on arrival, this plan, as the Palestinians say. But that's not necessarily clear. Talking to some people here, they seem to be quite optimistic, actually, especially the business people who say this is an opportunity for us to do what we do best, to try to tell the political leaders, hey, just help us get out of our way and we can make some really big changes in this region. I also spoke to Rabbi Marvin Heyer and Rabbi Abraham Cooper. Those are two U.S.-based rabbis who are quite optimistic about the need for this summit and actually why Bahrain is hosting it in the first place. So take a listen.
The younger generation doesn't want to repeat the mistakes of their parents and grandparents. They don't want the same mantra. They want a new vision of hope where they can earn a living, enjoy the rest of their lives with their families. That's what's great about this. This is a new road for them.
King Hamad deserves tremendous credit. He is on the front porch of Iran. And anything that happens there impacts tremendously here. Hope to see him here in the next day or two, and we'll continue to push him to take it to the next step. Maybe he'll be the first in the Gulf to actually establish normal relations with Israel.
So we're here in Bahrain. We'll keep covering everything as it develops and as things really get started later this evening. Nurit Ben, I-24 News, Manama.
All right, Nurit, thank you. We'll be checking in with you later here on I-24 News. With me in studio, I have Dr. Yossi Beilin, former Israeli Justice Minister, as well as retired IDF Colonel Dr. Jacques Nerrier, who was a former deputy head of IDF Intelligence Assessment. I want to start with you, Dr. Beilin. Is it a bad start that neither the Israelis nor the Palestinians officially were even invited? They were not asked to come to this event. The White House is talking about $50 billion to inject into the economies, but they didn't want to hear the opinions, officially, of the Israelis nor the Palestinians.
And they did not commit even $1. I mean, speaking about other people's money. And it reminds me the emperor's new clothes. I mean, there is nothing. It is totally empty. You are speaking about what? About projects, kind of a wish list, which were not consulted with the parties in the region beforehand. Whether this is the agenda, for example, of the Palestinians, if they want to help the Palestinians so much, did they ask them whether these are their priorities or not?